All right, Scouts, hope everybody's doing well. We're going to talk really quickly about the requirements for Cast Iron Chef. This is going to be the first adventure that we're working on for Webelos. It's not too difficult, but it's going to be a whole lot of fun. So thing number one is we're going to plan a meal and make our own menu. This is going to be for your family, obviously, with everything going on right now. We're not going to be able to cook a whole meal for the den. We're also going to create what's called a budget. Now, I'm going to have a separate video on what a budget is, but very simply, a budget is just figuring out how much money you have to spend and then making the meal fit within that. For example, if you only have, say, $10 or $15, you're only going to be able to buy food with the money that you have, so you've got to stay within the budget. If it's possible, and you should talk to your parents about this, you can try to go shopping for the items on your menu as well. It's okay if you can't. If it's not appropriate for you to go, given the current conditions, that's perfectly fine. But the big thing for this part of the Cast Iron Chef is to plan a balanced meal for your family and determine a budget for that meal. And ideally, to stay within that budget when you're buying the food as well. The second requirement is to actually prepare that meal. Now, when I say prepare, this is actually using a camp stove, a Dutch oven, a box oven, a solar oven, an open campfire, or even a charcoal grill. Notice it doesn't say gas grill, it does say charcoal grill though. So there's lots of different ways to cook here. I'll introduce a couple of different ways for you. I've got a few of these that I can show you. I don't have all, but there's certainly plenty of information out there that I'm sure your parents can help you find if you're interested. Also want you to demonstrate some food safety practices while you're preparing the meal. What does this mean? This means making sure that your hands are clean, for example. You don't want to handle raw meat for maybe a hamburger or a steak or a piece of chicken and then go grab vegetables. You want to make sure your hands are staying clean and you're not transferring any of the germs or bacteria from one food item to another. So basic food safety practices as well. And then finally, this is actually an optional requirement, but using tinder, kindling, some kind of wood to actually demonstrate how to build a fire in an appropriate location. Now the catch here is you got to make sure that this is safe. Let's make sure that there's not any local restriction on fires, things like that to make sure that it's nice and safe. This is going to include having a nice bucket of water or a hose nearby just in case the fire gets out of hand. And what you want to be able to do is show that you can safely light a fire with an adult around. One of your parents, your mom or dad, must be there to light this fire. Please don't do this yourself. After you allow it to burn for a little while, then go ahead and put the fire out, hopefully without too much impact to your campsite. Now again, this is an optional requirement, so parents, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, gosh, I don't have anywhere to do that, that's okay. Again, it's optional. And also keep in mind, as we said in the previous requirement, you can use this on a charcoal grill as well. So if you don't have an area where you can do a campfire, or charcoal grill is fine too. But again, this one is optional. Building a campfire, lighting it, and extinguishing it, that's an optional requirement for this because there are a couple of different methods by which this adventure can be completed. And those are the three main requirements for the Cast Iron Chef. We're going to plan the meal, we're going to buy it if we can, and we're going to set a budget for that meal. We're going to cook that meal in one of the numerous ways that has been described, either Dutch oven, camp stove, open fire, or charcoal grill, and if possible, if your conditions permit, actually creating a campfire, lighting it, and extinguishing it as well. So we're going to work on this for the next couple of weeks, maybe a month or two or so. I'm going to have some additional videos on actually how to build a proper campfire and how to cook food over a campfire as well. That'll be coming up soon. This is just a quick introduction to the requirements in case you wish to work on any of these on your own at home. That's it for now. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me.